Okay, so the Blight's here, and I see people saying he's very good, I see people saying he's very bad. I just want to give my opinion on it, because I find him very fun. However, I do not think he's very good. Now I should probably get into more specifics. The Blight's power, first off, we should probably start with that, it's called Blighted Corruption, and it gives you the special ability Rush. Allows you to rush forward. If you don't bounce into anything, you just go into fatigue. If you bounce off a wall, you enter a slam duration, which allows you to either rush again, or you can just sit there and go into fatigue. If you rush again, then you enter lethal rush. With lethal rush, you can attack out of rush, or you can just keep going into fatigue, or you can bounce off a wall again. Each time you bounce, it uses a token. You start off with 5 by default. You can increase it by 2 with an add-on, you can decrease it by 1 with an add-on. Now, with all of that said, his power is fun, but lackluster. When you rush towards a survivor, you usually get a hit, at least now. However, it's incredibly easy to dodge because of one factor, and that's that for some reason, when you lunge out of a lethal rush, you enter like Myers speed, and because of that you're so slow, they can just super easily dodge out of the way, pretty much no matter what. And even if you try to get right on top of them, if they see that you're trying to do that, or you do it to them once, they can easily just move out of the way. Now, as a Blight, you can do things to counter this. Like I said, you can go right on top of someone, but that can even be countered. You can do some things, but you really can't do anything. If you're going against a good team of survivors as Blight, you are going to struggle, because the only thing your power will do to those teams is give you extra mobility, and maybe you'll get a hit or two if you run up on a gen real quick and they don't notice you're coming. But that'll only get you like 1 or 2 hits, which is better than nothing. But for a power that's supposed to be kind of like spirits or nurses, where you're using the power mainly to get hits, it doesn't work that well. Also, the problem with this power is you cannot use it at any loops. You can use it at like 1 loop. I feel like you can really just use it at Killer Shack, and that's it. I've not been able to find a single other loop other than Killer Shack, and even Killer Shack, it's very hard to do, and you have to get the timing down perfectly. Now, with that being said, he is still very fun. However, I would change him a little bit. For one, no matter what, they need to come out with a hotfix, and they need to give him a normal lunge out of his attack, just like Spirit has, just like a Nurse has, where they phase or they blink, and then they immediately have that normal lunge where they can 180 if they have to. They can go forwards like a meter, I think, however far you're able to go, pretty fast. The lunges too, that's the main problem I have with the lunge, is its speed. Its turning is atrocious, but also its speed, because the speed can allow you to, you're lunging towards a survivor and then they notice you're lunging, but they still have time to move out of the way because you're moving at like I said, like tier 1 Myers speed. It's really ridiculous. Not only do I just don't understand why he doesn't have a normal lunge, because if you look at the ups to the downs of his power, like there's no reason for him to not have normal movement when he's actually attacked. Like if you look at Billy, for example, because his power is pretty similar, it makes sense that during his power and everything you have such limited movement and everything, and even while you're attacking with your power you have such limited movement because it's a one shot. Not to mention, if you just walk into somebody while you're rushing with Billy's chainsaw or running, they get hit, they go down no matter what, unless they have like borrowed time and they just got off the hook. But like with Billy it makes sense. With Blight it makes no sense, because even if he did have that turning, at most loops he would still be bad, and it would just allow you to get hits that you should already be getting with him. Another problem that I see is his attack out of rush it counts as a special attack, which it shouldn't. It just 100% shouldn't. They should make it a normal M1, so if you're exposed and you get hit by that, you get down. If the Blight has saved the best for last and he hits the Obsession, he loses stacks, even if it's with his rush. If you get hit by Franklin's, you drop your item. It would just help him a lot more because it would make perks like Haunted Grounds, No-Ed, Make Your Choice. It would make them actually really good on him because it would allow you to see, oh, I have Make Your Choice, that person got unhooked. Let me rush back at fucking hillbilly speed and hit the person. It would give you so much more value from the perks, and it would allow Blight to actually have a variation in his builds, which is another problem I've seen, where really the only build you can use that works really well with Blight is Barbecue and Chili, Hex Undying, Hex Ruin, and Tinkerer. That is hands down his best build, and really no other build works. You need Hex Undying, you need Hex Ruin, and you need Tinkerer if you want to do well with this killer, because his power only allows him to move around the map fast, which allows you to patrol those gens and everything. However, if you gave him a few fixes, like I said, fixing his launch, making his attack just a normal M1, pretty much exactly like Spirits, exactly like Deathslinger, exactly like Nurse's Lunge, where you get Sloppy Butcher, you get Franklin's out of it, and you get the hit. You don't just get the hit, you get more out of it. I think that would benefit him immensely. The final thing I think they should add is they should give him the demo treatment where one of his add-ons right now lets him break pallets. He should be able to break pallets with his power, which is Base Kit. Base Kit, he's able to break pallets by rushing into them, and he's stunned for like 1.5 seconds. It's something that's not super powerful because you still get stunned, and not to mention if you're looking at it as if like, oh well, if I drop the pallet, that doesn't really counter him. It's not really true because you can still time it perfectly, just like you can with Demo and Bubba and what's his name, Hillbilly. All those killers can break pallets with their power, which allows them to, if they charge their power, they can either, if you don't drop the pallet, they go through and down you. If you drop the pallet, they break it, and the best outcome for the survivor in that situation is to learn the timing and drop it perfectly so that they stun the killer and keep the pallet down. It's possible, it's very possible, it's very easy if you learn the timing, but I feel like just people don't want to do it and say that he shouldn't break pallets because of that. That's pretty much all I think should be changed about him, and other than that, he's actually a very fun killer. It's very fun to zoom around the map, and it's very fun to actually hit people with your power, which is why I think Alchemist's Ring is one of his best add-ons and one of the most fun, because it just allows you to constantly use the power, and it rewards you for using the power correctly, which if they make the changes I've suggested, it'll make it even better. It'll make him even better because then it rewards you from doing it. Also, quick side note, even if they give him a normal lunge, you can still 360 him. It just makes it so killers who know how to counter the 360 don't continuously get 360'd and juked and everything, because the game just says, your lunge out of this power sucks ass, so too bad you get 360'd. Now, I would make another video for his perks and for his add-ons, but there's not that much that needs to be changed. For instance, Hex Undying doesn't need to be changed at all. It's a perfectly fine and balanced perk. There's ways to counter it. There's ways to counter it. You could just ignore it if you really wanted to. You could do like the old Ruin approach where you just brute force your way through. You could do that. I'd say the only changes he needs perk-wise is Dragon's Grip. The duration that you touch the gen and get exposed, that needs to be increased to 60 seconds, and then the cooldown needs to be decreased to 60 seconds. It should be just like Make Your Choice, where once the person runs out of exposure, that's when you're able to use the power again. It should be like, just like make your choice. Just like it. I don't know why it isn't. And then Blood Favor, they either need to get rid of the cooldown or they need to get rid of the hex part of it, because just having 2 negatives just makes it a bad perk. It's a good concept and everything, people have wanted it for a while, but the fact that it has a double negative just makes it awful. And finally, I just want to touch on his add-ons. I think for the most part they're fine. However, he is continuing the problem where his ultra rares are fucking garbage. I see no point in running them. The one that makes people exposed is just like Iridescent Coin, where yeah, you'll get value out of it sometimes. However, that's rare. It's rare that you purposely hit somebody with no tokens left. It's very rare. And then the other problem is, I think we all know, Component 21 or Compound 21 is way too powerful. I say the easiest way to get rid of it is to make it a purple, and then make the purple that lets you see people while you're rushing within 8 meters of them. Make that a green. That seems way more like a green than the Compound 21. And then other than that, his add-ons are pretty good. I'd say the only problems I have are the adrenaline and the placebo pill, but the placebo pill is supposed to be one of those like, oh, you get more blood points, but it's bad for you a little bit. It's supposed to be one of those where it's like, if you want blood points, or if you want more of a challenge, you can use it. And then the adrenaline, it's I'm holding back my judgment on it because I feel like you could make it work. You just have to play him differently from how you play him. You have to take just everything into consideration within that second of your slam duration, or else you pretty much won't be able to use your power at all. And with all that being said, that's all I have to say. He's fun. He just needs a normal lunge out of his attack. I'd say make his attack out of his slam. Make it just a normal one so you could get exposed, Franklin's, things like that. Make it so you can break pallets. And then, other than his power, just 2 of his perks need to be slightly changed, just number-wise. And then 2 of his add-ons, really. 4 of them need to be changed, but 2 of them just need to switch places in rarity, and then the other 2, they're gonna have to do like a mid-chapter where they just rework all the add-ons. So these have joined the list of ones that they need to rework. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow with that Ghostface and Silent Hill video, because that's still happening, because I was probably right with something about it. Gonna have to watch the video to find out. And there's new Silent Hill news that I wanted to cover, because it has been a great thing to happen, at least in my opinion. So with that being said, I'll see you next time in the fog, and have fun.